Most fertilizers promise fast growth, bright leaves, and bigger harvests, yet many gardens still struggle year after year. Soil becomes compacted, plants burn easily, and yields stall despite constant feeding. Worm water, often dismissed as backyard folklore, quietly solves these problems by working with the soil instead of against it. Once you understand what worm water actually does beneath the surface, it becomes clear why it consistently outperforms store-bought fertilizers in real gardens. Worm water is the liquid byproduct of earthworm activity. It can come from vermicompost bins, worm towers, or even soil that has been heavily populated with earthworms and watered deeply. Unlike chemical fertilizers that deliver isolated nutrients, worm water carries a living solution of microbes, enzymes, plant hormones, and fully chelated minerals. This combination feeds plants gently while transforming soil structure at the same time. The power of worm water starts in the worm's digestive system. As organic matter passes through a worm, it is ground, inoculated with beneficial microbes, and chemically altered. Nutrients are converted into forms that plants can absorb immediately without burning roots. Calcium becomes more soluble, nitrogen stabilizes into plant-safe forms, and trace minerals are bound to organic compounds that prevent leaching. When water passes through worm castings, it carries these benefits straight into the root zone. Store-bought fertilizers work in the opposite way. They push nutrients into the soil in concentrated doses. Plants respond quickly, but soil life suffers. Excess salts disrupt microbial communities and harden soil particles. Over time, this creates dependency. Plants appear to need more fertilizer each season because the biological systems that once fed them have been weakened or destroyed. Worm water doesn't create dependency. It actually builds capacity. With each application you get more microbial diversity and activity in the soil. These microbes, they unlock nutrients that are already present, break down organic matter faster, and create soil aggregates that improve aeration and water retention. Gardens treated regularly with worm water develop a loose, crumbly texture that holds moisture without becoming soggy. One of the most underrated aspects of worm water is the presence of natural plant growth regulators. Auxins, cytokinins, and gibberellins are produced by microbes during vermicomposting. These compounds regulate root growth, leaf expansion, and flowering. Instead of forcing growth with nitrogen spikes, worm water signals plants to grow in balanced, resilient ways. This is why, you'll notice, plants fed with worm water often develop thicker stems, deeper roots, and stronger flowering cycles. Using worm water correctly makes all the difference. Fresh worm water should be diluted before application. A common ratio is 1 part worm water to 10 parts non-chlorinated water for general feeding. For young plants or seedlings, 1 part to 15 is safer. You want to apply it directly to the soil around the root zone rather than spraying leaves. Soil application allows microbes to settle where they can do the most good. Timing matters as well. Applying worm water in the early morning or late afternoon prevents microbial stress from heat and sunlight. Regular light applications every 2 to 3 weeks outperform heavy, infrequent doses. This steady rhythm mirrors how nutrients are released naturally in healthy ecosystems. Another reason worm water beats store-bought fertilizers is disease suppression. Beneficial microbes introduced through worm water colonize root zones and outcompete harmful fungi and bacteria. Many gardeners notice reduced root rot, stronger resistance to powdery mildew, and faster recovery from stress after consistent use. The soil becomes a protective buffer instead of a battleground. Cost is another advantage that's hard to ignore. Store-bought fertilizers require repeated purchases and careful measurement. Worm water, once your worm system is established, is essentially free. Kitchen scraps become feedstock, and the output is a renewable soil tonic that improves with time. The more you use it, the better your soil becomes, reducing the need for external inputs altogether. Worm water also improves nutrient efficiency. Instead of nutrients washing away after watering or rain, microbes help bind them to soil particles and root surfaces. This reduces runoff and keeps nutrients available longer. Gardens fed with worm water often need less frequent watering because improved soil structure holds moisture more effectively. Perhaps the most important difference is sustainability. Worm water aligns with how natural systems function. Forests, meadows, and wetlands thrive without synthetic fertilizers because life cycles nutrients continuously. Worm water reconnects gardens to that process. It turns feeding into soil building rather than soil depletion. Once you experience the difference, store-bought fertilizers begin to feel unnecessary. Growth becomes steady rather than explosive and fragile. Plants develop flavor, strength, and resilience instead of just size. Worm water isn't a shortcut. It's a return to biological balance, and that balance is why it consistently outperforms anything sold in a bottle.